Welcome back, guys. We are now going into the second portion of our meeting, the prepared speech program. Today, we have our very own Toastmaster Angela, who is an blogger and a published author and an English teacher. Today, she will be doing the project. One second. Reflecting on your path. Correct, Angela?
Yes. It's the last project in your path is to look back on what you've done.
Yes. Angela will be presenting on her part. She will be going over all that she has accomplished during her part. Without any further delay, Angela, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Before I start, I just want to share my slides as well as pinning the timer.
Yes. Otman is our timer. Otman, she has 8 to 10 minutes for this project.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Now you've vanished. Where are you?
Probably off to the side.
I can't find you. Can you see me?
Yes, we can see you.
Well, I will share my slide. I don't know how to share my slides now because I can't find the screen. Right, I've got something that says Zoom meeting. Oh, I got it back. Hooray. Okay, I've now got you back. And is Othman the timer or are you the timer?
Othman is the timer.
Yeah, that's me.
Right, I need to tell you the timing for this project.
Yes.
This project is going to be 10 to 12 minutes.
Okay.
Therefore, perhaps you could give me a yellow on 10, a green on 11, and a red on 12.
That's the green on 10, the yellow on 11, and the red on 12.
Right, I'm now going to share screen. Let me know when you can see it. Can you see innovative planning?
Yes, we can see.
And do you see me as well?
Yes.
Excellent. Mr. President, fellow Toastmasters and prospective Toastmasters and friends-to-be, we're delighted to have you with us because I am going to tell you all about pathways and about the particular path which I chose. Now, first I should explain to you that this is not my first path. My first path was the one that most people choose as their first path, which is presentation mastery, which is a complicated way of saying presenting, which takes you through 14 projects. Now, at the moment, all the paths start the same with the first 5 projects. Number 1 is introduce yourself to an audience and is just 4 minutes long, minimum. And then you have speech 1, speech 2, evaluate a speech, and then research. Now they're introducing something new, which I didn't have to do, which is going to be vocal variety and using gestures and your face. So those are going to be extras which are coming shortly. So I chose presentation mastery as my first one, and most people do because they join because they're working and they want to show slides at work and present them. My second choice, again, is very popular. Second choice was on humor. And this project is this pathway is slightly different to the others because each project you do requires some kind of humor. So level 1 is, as I just described it, is the one where you introduce yourself, learn how to give a speech and do research. I had done this several times before because I'd done it in presentation mastery and in humor. So in presentation mastery, I was just doing presentation. In humor, I tried to give a speech about myself, but being humorous. Now, in my new project, Innovative Planning, I had to think of doing something new because the whole idea of this project is planning to do new things. Now, level 2 of all the pathways is learning your style. And 2 of the popular subjects are your leadership style and your communication style. For example, I learned that I'm not authoritative except when I want to get something done in a hurry, in which case I say, look, let's do it this way. As a teacher, I'm inclined to be authoritative and say, we're going to do this next. However, when I'm in a one-to-one situation, I often give the other person a choice. Now, the third thing that you come to in innovative planning is mentoring. And again, you can do it slightly differently in each project. So the first time you just talk about a mentor you had, how you reacted as the mentee. The second time when I did it with humor, I tried to describe funny things that happened between me and my mentor. My third project, which was this one, Innovative Planning, I tried to think of what new things my mentor taught me. Now, what is different about this pathway? It gets slightly different when we come to level 2. Now, one of the things you have to do is pick a subject the audience doesn't know. And I'm a teacher of English, so one of my projects was to focus on introducing myself as an English teacher, not just an all-round view of myself, what I do all the time, do I sing, do I swim, but concentrating, focusing on that. Now, what else did I learn? Each time you do the project, if you do the whole pathways, the whole 16 projects again, you start to get more focused each time you do it. So regardless of which path I had taken, I would have known more the next time I did a new path. One thing I learned was that in project 2, you do 2 speeches. You do a speech, then somebody evaluates your speech, tells you what you did well and what you should do better. And then in the second speech, you improve on it either the same speech or a different speech using the feedback. Now, I've shown you this picture of the twins because one thing I have learned is if you're doing a comparison of two speeches, you want the same person to evaluate you so they can see if you did it better or differently the second time. At the beginning, nobody knew this. I didn't know this. And the way we used to do it was the second person would come along and say, well, I'm supposed to see if this speech is better than the previous time, but I didn't see them last time. And I haven't seen the feedback, so I don't know. So the whole thing was a bit unfair on the evaluator. So that's one thing I have learned from doing more than one pathway. Now, what did I actually learn from my evaluator? I have learned from doing all these different paths to keep track of my evaluation feedback and remind myself. Now, for example, one of the things I was told was to stand up, which I'm doing now, but it's very difficult to stand up when you're presenting a slideshow. So mostly you don't present slides, you just talk. But I thought this is quite complicated, so I would present the slides. The other thing I learned was only one photo on a slide. When I first did slides, I put 6 or 10 pictures all over the slide. And then I would get confused as to what to talk about, and people listening got confused. I've just got one picture on this slide, which is of somebody standing up, so that I can concentrate on standing up and you can have that picture in your mind and know that what I'm talking about now is the feedback I got on standing up. Now, let's go on to my next slide. One of the projects you get to do in most level 2s on all the pathways is talking about mentoring. And I learned to put in a picture of the original mentor. He was a man who stood in place of Ulysses. Ulysses was a Greek leader or king who went off to fight the Trojan Wars. He met Helen of Troy, who launched 1,000 ships. Meanwhile, back home, his poor son had got no dad, no one to tell him what to do. Ulysses appointed a man called Mentor to be, as we might say in Latin, in loco parentis, in place of his father. And because the man called Mentor stood in place of Ulysses, the missing father, we now use the word mentor to be somebody who advises you on your whole life, not just a coach helping you get through an exam, then goes away like a football coach, but someone who deals with your whole life, and that is a mentor. And I learned to use this picture of the mentor to explain that story. I thought when I came to do a new path, I couldn't use the same story again. What I learned was I could tell that story again and use that photo again. I had a new audience, I had a new evaluator who immediately said, I didn't know what a mentor was. I really enjoyed being told that piece of history and seeing the picture of Mentor and the young boy. And so I learned from my pathway that you can give the same speech again to different people, and there will always be new people who find what you have to say sounds new. And I never give the same speech twice exactly anyway, because I don't stick to a script word by word. So that's one thing I learned from doing this path. Now I'll move on to level 3. This is quite complicated. I've got a lot on this slide, which I was told not to do, but it's very helpful for me for this particular point about level 3. There are 5 levels in the pathways. Your introduction, your first couple of speeches where you get your evaluation, learning about your style, and then you get interesting, improving your skills. At this point, things diverge. In innovative planning, I had to present a proposal. And I proposed that we should use different languages and learn about different languages in a club. On other occasions, I've done a proposal about we should all learn Esperanto. You can propose anything you like, but this is just what you do in this particular path, innovative planning. It sounds hard. When you talk about suggest an idea, it sounds a lot simpler than present a proposal. But present a proposal is just like giving a speech, it's getting the plan. Now, what you want to know is, how does this innovative planning pathway differ from the others? Well, I've already described how humor is always to do with humor. So on this particular project, level 3, it's about engaging the audience with humor. So for example, you might pick on the names of people in the audience, totally different from innovative planning, which I've just described to you, was where you present a proposal. Now, level 4, what did I learn? Level 4 is when it gets really interesting. The 2 projects I've been doing are nearly always blogging, because I have 2 blogs. One is on travel and another is on fashion. But this time, instead of blogging, I did a podcast. And the thing I learned was that you press record in the middle of your screen on Zoom, and then you can record your sound and your vision to do a podcast. Finally, level 5, you come to reflect in your path, which is what I have just done. So now you've much better idea what you learn in this particular path, as opposed to, for example, the one on humor. And I haven't been humorous, I have been reflecting on my path, which was innovative planning. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day, Edward.
Excellent job. We went on that journey with you throughout your path. Most intriguing, from level 1 through to level 5, and all the lessons learned along the way. Excellent job, Angela. Regrettably, we only have 1 manual presentation today. Next week, we will have 2 or more. With that, we will take a 5-minute break, and then we come back for the evaluation portion of our meeting.